Hi, my name is Brandy, and Omri and Amy were my partners, and the three of us, created a website that introduces our internship to you. We completed our internship over the summer of 2014. And our internship basically consisted of introducing new technologies to the staff at Hammond High School to help them learn how to incorporate technology into the classroom to enhance education. So to help you navigate through our website, a couple of links over here, we connected our pre-internship portfolios that you can click on and navigate through. We also have attached the Summer Tech Team website that we use throughout our internship. And here you can find help videos that are screencasts that guide the user through how to start a website, how to create pages throughout that website, how to embed calendars, so on and so forth. It also discusses a little bit about LiveScribe and how to use that in the classroom as well. This link over here, it just gives us an area to keep other resources about the specific different pieces of technology that we use. And all four of these were actually discussed throughout our internship. So going back to the website, Omri is going to take over the breakdown and process of our internship.
So we began with a proposal to our principal, essentially asking for permission to use Hammond as a launching place for our summer tech team. We asked to run several sessions over the summer to introduce and allow time for teachers to play with emerging technologies. And of course, we familiarized ourselves with the technologies. Some of them came from the program that we learned along the way, and some we just sharpened our skills regarding technologies that we already used. Our overall goal in this program was to essentially increase the use of technology by teachers at Hammond. There's been a feeling amongst us that some teachers are not even aware of all the technologies that are available to them, so we wanted to present those and let people gravitate towards their most favorite technologies, because when the teacher uses the technology well, then the students are going to learn it better as well. We also wanted to help teachers increase efficiency in their daily activities, because certainly we all know there are many things that need to be done on a daily basis in the public school system, and many teachers, certainly in this school, have struggled with organization and communication and collaboration, which are three keystones to our project. We wanted to do this, of course, by presenting those technologies to the staff, modeling them for them effectively, and giving them the time that they need to explore on their own. We firmly believe that, as we do for our kids, as we believe with our kids that they learn best by doing, we try to apply this strategy to the teachers that we were teaching as well.
All right, so our project was a summer tech team where teachers had the opportunity to come in and spend some time on technologies that they don't always get that opportunity to do. So the first thing that we did is we sent out a Google form, which was an interest form. So we were just collecting the names of people that were coming, asked them a couple different questions, kind of get a baseline of where people were, what they were interested in, how often they wanted to come in. So some of those results are here for you. So it was mostly high school teachers, not surprisingly. We're all in a high school, so mostly our staff, but there were teachers from other schools. There's also 4 middle school teachers that came in, which was phenomenal. We had a variety of subject areas that were covered. We asked them this question partly out of curiosity, but also so that we had a good idea going into it, and we could kind of think through some different examples for them, what things they would need and want for their specific subject areas. We got a baseline understanding of what people were interested in coming in to do. And we ended up asking them this question again to get a little bit of a different read. And then, very importantly, how often are people wanting to come in? Is it just once? Do they just want to receive emails? Do they want it a couple times? Do we want to just wait until that first week back for teachers? And it was really exciting to see how many people were interested in coming in a couple times over the summer. So we also asked what they think their knowledge of Google Sites were. We had a good idea that Google Sites was going to be one of our main topics that we were going to cover, and they really were kind of just in the baseline here, kind of in the middle. A couple people more confident, but most people not too sure, not very confident in using it. So it was neat to have an opportunity to give them the time to play with it and the resources needed. So we had 35 people respond. Some of them were Hammond teachers, like I had stated. Some were staff members. We had paraeducators involved. We had some administration involved. We had some guidance counselors involved, which was really neat to kind of get the whole spectrum there. So we sent out a second form that was specifically to the teachers that had signed up for information. So we made it very clear that, if you want to keep receiving emails, you need to fill out the first form, and this so that we weren't clogging up everybody's email. So the second one was really, okay, here's the things we could give some information on and have sessions on. Which ones are you looking for? So, nice and simple, just what are we going to teach? Clearly, creating and updating websites was number one. Google Apps taking second place. And then Edmodo and iPads were tied up. We had our Media Center specialist let us know that she was going to run an iPad session in the following school year, so she would prefer if we held off on that one. Also, not all teachers have iPads, and we're not guaranteed that those were going to be the people who are coming. So we ran a session on creating and updating sites, Google Apps, and Edmodo. So then we created a couple different forms. So we made the decision of what our 3 sessions were going to be on. We picked dates that they were going to be held on, and we wanted a little bit more information. So how many people would be coming is a really big deal, so that we had a room big enough, that we had enough ports for people to have their computers plugged in. And we also wanted to know, what's your purpose? Are you starting a website from scratch? Are you just editing your website? Do you just want to be there to spend time and ask questions as you go? So it was really nice to have some feedback on these. So our first session was great. We had an awesome time. So these are all 3 sessions we put in one Google form. So our first session we did Google Sites, and it was phenomenal. We had a form just for attendance that our principal asked us to have. We also created a document that showed the difference between using your personal Google account, the HCPSS public account, and then the HCPSS private account. This was something that has really been a struggle for people to kind of wrap their brains around. Why do we have private versus public? Which is used for what? So it was a nice visual to give the staff. Our Media Center specialists actually use it all the time now, which is really neat. The other document that we had is something that we gave, and I will change that so you can see it. The other document that we had is a packet, and it walked the teachers through questions. So what is the purpose of your site? What do you want teachers to be able to do with it? What do you want students to be able to do with it? What do you want parents to be able to do with it? Do you need one site or multiple sites? Do you need them interlinking? All sorts of different things that really made them think through what their purpose was and gave them the opportunity to really plan a layout of them. So really helpful. We got some great feedback, and then we showed them examples of different websites. All three of us are coaches, so we have coaching websites. We have ones for our classrooms. We use some other teachers at the school who have some phenomenal websites and have done really cool stuff with them as well, just so they got an idea of the types of things that they could do with their site. We had an awesome time. It was so much fun, and everybody left feeling really good about it. So we had sent out a Google form afterwards to say, like, how did we do? Give us some feedback. You know, was it helpful? Did you leave with something you could use? What else do you need? And so some of the responses are here. Everybody left saying it was positive, it was worth their time, and, you know, let us know what other things they needed, so that as we had our next two sessions, we knew what we needed to improve upon. So the second session was focusing on the Google apps. So Google Calendars is a huge thing. We use them at our school for meetings. We also use them to post assignments for students, upcoming tests and quizzes. It's our form of communication with students and parents for that. So we want to make sure everybody had a good understanding of Google Calendars. Also, Google Docs and Google Forms are really useful things that we're using more and more in our school. So we want to make sure that they had an understanding of them, understanding of what they could do with them, and know how to implement them with their websites. So it was nice and fluid. And then similarly, we had a feedback document, and we had an attendance document that we did with this. Okay. Our third session was officially on Edmodo, but it ended up being Edmodo / Web 2.0 tools / time to continue working with your Google site and your Google Drive, and it worked out really nicely. It summed up the summer beautifully. We had an awesome teacher come in who had been working on her site. She was so excited to share it with us and model it for people, all the different things that she could do with it. And she had gone through our Summer Tech Team website and used a lot of our help videos to help her create a lot of this. The next big thing that we did was we had a drop-in session. So the first week back in August, our principal asked us to run a 1-hour drop-in session for teachers so that they could come and get help with whatever they needed. Well, that's really broad, and we wanted to make sure that we had enough manpower for this. So we sent out a little document of, hey, do you think you're going to come? What do you think you're going to come for? So we just wanted to be prepared for what kind of problems people were coming in for. So only 8 people signed up to come in, and we had 24 people drop in at various different levels. But it ended up working out really well. We had different teachers drop in who ended up helping each other out. We could model some things up on the projector, and we all got to float around and answer questions, and it was amazing. One of my absolute favorite things that happened out of this was we have a PE teacher who teaches a weight training class, and he created a spreadsheet, a Google spreadsheet, that when he was done with it, automatically calculated, so you figure out what your max is on each of the different exercises, and it would automatically calculate what weight you should use for your first, second, and third set. It is so cool, and he's actually used this as a model now for other weight training classes, and it's the coolest thing. So kids can go and they can keep track daily of their reps. It's very, very neat. Very, very cool. So our principal was so impressed. She got so much great feedback about this that she had us run a professional development for the entire staff. So we had a day off of school. The students weren't there where we ran a professional development. And what we ended up doing was we sent out another Google form, big fans of these, and asked, hey, what do you want to learn about? What do you want to spend time on to our staff? So we sent that out and got some feedback, and then based on that feedback, we came up with 12 sessions. So there was 10 different technologies that we ended up covering, and we sent this out to the staff. So it was really nice. We had 10 different things, and we had a little link for each so that they could see what these things were, and they could make a decision of what to they would like to go to. So each one of these were staff ran. We found different staff members that were part of our summer tech team that came and helped us, and they ran these sessions for us. But we ended up with 12 different sessions because 2 of these were GT. So teachers who had already gone to professional development on Erasmus got a GT version and furthered their knowledge on the app. Same with the interactive board. Our media center specialist had already ran a session on interactive board, so we ran a GT version of that as well. Really awesome. And the coolest thing I thought was our first form, you always leave at the bottom anything else you want us to know. And we had a couple different staff members ask us about gradecam.com. And one of our staff members said, hey, I'd be happy to run this session. So they got added to the list and was actually one of the best sessions that we had there. So we sent that out, and we spent a lot of time making sure that our staff members were in a good place. They had their top 2 choices. Some people got their alternate choices instead, but mostly everybody got covered. And then the staff members that did not fill out our form, we chose for them, but we actually tried really hard to pick things that we thought they would find useful. So we also sent out a form to our lovely and amazing presenters just to make sure that they had everything that they needed, and we made a Google Doc that was also that had all the staff members and which sessions they were going to, so that our presenters could contact them ahead of time, and they could let them know, if they had any questions, they could get in contact ahead of time. So we sent out, of course, a post-evaluation, which was really nice. We got to get some feedback, how was this PD? Did you enjoy it? Do you want to do anything different next time? Was it worth your time, and all that? And we have some of the feedback there as well that you can go through. I've hidden the staff member names so that they're anonymous. But the statistics of it was so positive. Everyone was saying, this was great, this was really worth my time. A couple people were unhappy, but that's of course going to happen. And then it was really interesting to see how many people were confident that they were actually going to use these things in their classroom, which was really nice. And people who wrote specific questions on here, we did email back and give further support afterward. So everyone was really happy. It was really amazing to go through. As far as our website goes, the bottom of this is just a quick cheat sheet of all the different forms that we have sent out. So if you're looking for one to model, you can sneak all the way down to the bottom here. And then we are going to move on to part 2 for our class reflections.
Hi again. So here is where we summarized all of the courses that we took throughout the educational technology program. Basically, we started out with PowerPoint and Microsoft Word, learning how to do HTML codes, newsletters, so on and so forth. As you can see, I briefly explained what I learned throughout each of the courses, and relayed that to how it helped us complete our internship. So all of the Web 2.0 tools that we learned throughout the program, we then were able to teach our staff about those, specifically with GAFE and teaching our staff how to make websites in order to help organize their information and create calendars so that their students know exactly what's going on in class and when tests and quizzes will be. Also with LiveScribe, Amy Holly is very good with LiveScribe. That allows her to record and both record her notes and her talking throughout her notes to post onto a website, that if her students miss class, they can refer to that website and see exactly what they missed. So all of these classes that we took contributed greatly to the information that we taught throughout our internship. We are going to move on to part 3, standards alignment now. In this section, we briefly talked about each of the standards for technology and how they relate to our program and our internship. So the first set of standards is technology operations and concepts, and these standards focus mainly on how to use technology, the skills for technology and understanding it, and how to use technology in the classroom to enhance student learning and also teaching. The second set of standards is assessment and evaluation, and here we talk about how different types of technology can be used to wrap up lessons, to evaluate student learning, and get different types of feedback using GAFE forms, Kahoot, clickers, and so on.
The last set of standards that we have is productivity and professional practice. In this section, we really talked about using the Google Forms to get the feedback and to constantly use those to evaluate ourselves and to teach other teachers how to use them to evaluate their students. And so you can see we linked in our surveys, and this instant feedback is time-stamped. It gives the ability for respondents to use text boxes and to write messages to the facilitator, and that way we feel like we had honest feedback from all our participants. And to wrap up all the standards, we end with the final standard, which is related to leadership and vision. Perhaps the one thing we were most proud of throughout this internship is that we really did help to create a new set of facilitators that will help us to educate and inform beyond the walls of our own school throughout the county, and we actually would like to make Hammond a hub of technology support through professional development and general expertise. Thank you so much for listening to our presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. Please click through our website and check out all the links.